All right, so to be honest, I'm getting pretty tired of this whole Austin Rivers versus Nasir Core 1v1 debate. Honestly, a lot of people are just completely missing the point. I feel like a lot of people are missing the point, which automatically disqualifies their opinion because honestly, it's really not that difficult to kind of wrap your head around. You know what I mean? There's delusion from both sides, but trust me, when I sat and heard Nick Young and Frank Nitti, I was really disappointed in his response because Nitty's someone who has the perspective of both sides. He's someone that has played with 1v1 players, YouTubers, and NBA players. And he didn't really address the question. Bro, I was watching that video in 2 times speed, and I'm like, bro, I can't listen to this because he's just ranting for an hour, talking about nothing, essentially. So I'm going to just break it down for everybody because it's really not that hard to wrap your head around. People are coming up with all these different points and, oh, I want you to see this versus no, I want you to see that. It's like we're not communicating the correct thing. So first of all, I'm not going to be addressing the insane talking points on both sides, okay? We're going to admit that both sides have been talking completely crazy. I'm going to be addressing the specific talking points that was stated by Nas and then Austin Rivers, okay? And the narrative that Austin Rivers himself has proposed or created was that essentially because he is an NBA player, if he were to play Nasir Kaur in a 1v1, he would destroy Nasir Kaur because he is a better basketball player overall.
Conversations when it comes to me playing some of these YouTube one-on-one guys. All right, I got respect for the space. I got respect for their hustle. I love all cultures of basketball and at all levels. But there are levels. Respectfully, man. Like, y'all putting even my name with this shit is disrespectfully. Like, this guy didn't get minutes at FAMU. I got called out by someone else. This dude was like 5'10" last month and the month before and the month before. I get why they do it. I get it. I appreciate it. It's all love. I have no interest in playing you. None of y'all. Y'all want me to allocate time away from my family and my career and media and everything I got going business-wise as a retired basketball player to get my body right and get back in shape to play? Who? Up and get me excited to play. I'm not doing this shit, man. And I'd set your culture back. It'd be a slaughter. Y'all talking about 1v1, bro? 3 dribbles? Good God. Stop adding me. I'm done. I'm not addressing this no more. Done.
Okay, that's it. That's what we're focusing on. Nothing else. No other external factors that don't apply to the conversation correctly. That's it. We're talking about Austin Rivers entering the 1v1 space and dominating because and solely because he is a superior fives basketball player. Okay? Like, I'm not going to sit up here and try to act like Nasir Kaur or any YouTube 1v1 hooper is better than an actual NBA player. Obviously, in basketball overall, the NBA is the highest level of overall basketball. When you think of basketball, you're thinking of fives basketball, the traditional way in which the sport has been played for decades, okay? And the highest level of that is the NBA. If you reach the NBA, your skill, just based on the selection process, the competition that you're playing against, the demand in terms of keeping up with the game, your body, the regiment, the scheduling, you know, how it basically your entire life revolves around that, the conditioning that you have to have, the training. Obviously, it's incomparable to anything below that level, okay? Anybody in the NBA, it's highly likely that they are way better basketball players than any YouTube hooper, anybody who's not in the NBA, okay? We can agree with that? Cool. That's not the conversation that we're having, though. The conversation is, would those credentials and those factors that make Austin Rivers a highest tier fives player, would that translate over to ones, and would he automatically dominate and destroy the best 1v1 player the way in which Austin Rivers was suggesting he would because of his fives credentials? And the answer is no. I'm not going to lie to you. And that's the case with all NBA players. I'm sorry. This comes with 2 stipulations. One is that the NBA player in question has to be of the same size as the YouTube hooper that we're talking about, okay? Obviously, a 6-foot guard, right? What is Lamar Peters going to do against Jason Tatum, right? You're comparing, or Wembenyama. We're comparing 6'8", 7-foot players to 6-foot guards. Obviously, the size advantage is going to play a major factor into the competence of that player during any sort of game. Fives, ones, threes, it doesn't matter. Obviously, if you're undersized, there's not much you can do. We're talking about of the same size. Austin Rivers is 6'4", I believe. Nasir Kaur is like a 6'2" and 3/4. He's not really 6'3", but he's considered 6'3". So about the same size. Nasir is way buffer than Austin. So they're relatively in the same size range, right? Okay. And then 2, we're talking about as is. Okay. If you gave an NBA player like 4 or 5 months of training, obviously, because they have a higher baseline of basketball in general, and if you train them for multiple months on ends to win a 1v1 game, yeah, obviously the likelihood that they would come in and win and beat the best players that already exist in ones, yeah, obviously they are going to probably win that game since they trained for it and their baseline in basketball in general is already higher. We are talking about as is, right? Let's say like maybe a month of training or just as is, because Austin seems to suggest that right now would destroy Nasir Kaur, that we wouldn't even want to see that game, right? So we're talking about as is, not like with prep time, because then that's a cop-out. You can say that for literally anything. My position doesn't even apply to all 1v1 hoopers. I think that you have maybe 4 1v1 hoopers that can compete at the level of an NBA player in terms of being matched up in a 1v1 setting. I think the gap between like the top 5 in ones and everybody else is noticeable, right? I think that if you put Rob against an NBA player, Zay against an NBA player, Scoob against an NBA player, and obviously Nas against the NBA player, I think that those will be very close games, right? I don't think that it'll be a blowout. And then everybody else, we can kind of have that conversation of, oh, this person would destroy that person. I would put Lamar Peters up there because he was literally an NBA draft pick, but his stamina is kind of shit. So could throw in more names at the end of the day, but that's kind of where I draw the line between size and skill and IQ. I think those top guys stand a chance, and everybody else we can start talking about, their levels. My whole point is that it would be a close game. I'm not even saying that, let's say if Nas and Austin check up tomorrow, I don't even know if Nas would win. I would have him winning, but I think that it would be a close game. I'm not even saying that Nas would definitely win, would destroy Austin Rivers, right? It would be a close game because he's the very best in this particular subunit of basketball, and Austin Rivers has close to no experience in this subunit of basketball. You can say that he's a ones guy, but he's never played a 1v1 230 with referees in the context of YouTube basketball. He's never done that, period. Will some of his skills translate? Absolutely. But again, it's a whole different game. And that's what I kind of want to highlight right now. There's different subunits to everything. So what doesn't translate when we're talking about fives basketball to ones basketball, and I'm going off of the evidence that we have seen previously, right? Stamina is a big thing. There's a different kind of stamina for ones. Obviously, if you are NBA conditioned, you'll be okay. I don't think that you're going to lose a game because you'll get too tired, but the stamina is different, for ones, especially if you're not used to it. The IQ, there's a whole different set of IQ, things you need to worry about, tactics that go into ones that just aren't applied to fives. 4 dribbles is a huge thing. And then shot selection. I mean that in the sense of what looks like a good shot in the NBA is different than ones. What's a stop in fives isn't really a stop in ones. You've seen Scoob hit crazy SH. You've seen Nas hit crazy SH. You know what I mean? So that might just look a little bit different. Examples of people that have entered the space that were supposed to be NBA or NBA level talent, so maybe not necessarily straight from the league, but as good as somebody who might be in the league, have been Joseph Lewis, lost to Scoob, lost to Keem, I'm not going to speak on the Lamar Peters game because that's a whole different situation. You have Scotty Lewis. You have Jerome Randall, who had a close game with Nesco. You know, he didn't show me levels. He won. He didn't show me that he was so much better. I think if they ran it back, I think Nesco could. I think it's like a 50-50. You know what I mean? He's not showing me levels. I'm sorry. For his first game, okay, but you know what I mean? I don't think that was Nesco's absolute best performance either. DA, again, he won the game against Rob. I think that Rob got cocky. He even said it himself. And that was a point game. Rob was winning most of that game. He got cocky, and don't get cocky against NBA level talent because they will come back. That's the lesson he learned. But again, DA didn't show me levels. He won the game, but he was down most of it, and he only won by 1 point. That's not showing me that there are levels. Again, impressive for your first game, but isn't that what we expect? You know, you have a much higher baseline. Ty Lawson, same kind of deal. He didn't show me levels, and then in the second game, just destroyed by Nesco, 30-1. But then, of course, you're gonna say, past your prime, injuries, whatever. So whatever, you can have that. Most people that there's so many G League, NBA G League players that step onto the scene and get destroyed. Remember in the build-up versus the game from Nas to Friga, Nas played an NBA G League player and destroyed him, and that built up a lot of the hype between Nas and Friga. I mean, that showed levels. You know what I mean? And it's just the case all the time. You'll have an NBA G League player, Fombi destroyed, or Keem destroyed one. I think Fombi destroyed one also in the free off the dribble stream. If anything, in those games, they're showing me that there are levels between the best 1v1 hoopers and G League hoopers, right? NBA G League hoopers. So you want me to believe that just because somebody is one level higher than people who are getting absolutely spanked around when they come and step on to the 1v1 scene, that it's just going to be total dominance and rather than a close game? Come on now. And my final point is that there's subunits to everything. You can look at examples of a lot of different things that have subunits to where the best person in that particular thing overall isn't necessarily the best player in that subunit of the thing that they are the best at. Magnus Carlsen, for example, greatest chess player to ever do it. He's seen as a god amongst men. Okay, he's the best blitz chess player, the best speed chess player, the best classical chess player. But then you have bullet chess, and he's not even top 10. He's, I think, 16. And let's apply this to Mario Kart. Do you think that the best 3-lap Mario Kart person, the person who's the best at getting around the track 3 times? I mean, it's very intricate if you actually sit and watch Mario Kart speed runs. Do you think that those players will automatically be the best in Mario Kart 8 battle mode? How about Call of Duty players? Call of Duty professionals. Do you think Optic Scumpy would automatically be the best trick shotter? Or would he be the best 1v1 or 2v2 player in Call of Duty? Do you think that Peterbot, who's the most dominant Fortnite player ever, do you think he's automatically the best in creative mode? Because I remember him getting destroyed by Zen, who, from a credential standpoint, was completely inferior to Peterbot, and Zen embarrassed him in creative mode. Would Zoink or W Popov, the best Geometry Dash players, would they automatically be the best in platformer Geometry Dash? Would Gordon Ramsay be the best hibachi chef if he tried? Would Kendrick Lamar or Jay-Z automatically beat Geechee Gotti or Loaded Lux or Murda Mook in a rap battle because they're the greatest rappers, some of the greatest rappers of all time? I mean, let's really think about this, right? So the point is this has been a lot more long-winded than what I wanted it to be. I wanted this to be quick, but I kind of dove into it. The point is that in the context of Austin Rivers playing Nasir Kaur right now, the idea that he would automatically dominate Nas is just, I think it's a bit exaggerated. He might win, maybe, but I don't think he would dominate Nas in a 1v1. I don't see a world where he dominates Nasir Kaur in a 1v1 basketball game. Is he a better overall basketball player? Obviously, that's not what we're talking about at all. I mean, I don't think that needs to be even mentioned. And the truth is, why do people, including Austin Rivers, think that they can walk into a completely different space in basketball and just dominate, it's honestly because, I mean, he has personal bias due to the work that he's put in fives, but people will co-sign that because basketball is something that's embedded in our culture. Sports in general is, right? Not just basketball, but basketball is, and media, and it's something that we perceive as high value. You know what I mean? We put anybody in the NBA because it's something that millions of people watch and it's part of our culture on a pedestal. But that doesn't mean that we don't have to be realistic when it comes to any NBA player of equal size, of like one of the top YouTube 1v1 players. We don't have to be unrealistic and say that they would absolutely wipe the floor with them in a 1v1, because at this point, if the ones scene was in its infancy, like back in 2023, even 2024, I would agree with you. Honestly, I was of that mindset. Like, oh, Kyrie would, like, these guys are playing ones, but Kyrie would destroy all of them. Like, I believe that. But I mean, at this point in time, the scene has evolved and players have been doing this specific thing for 3 to 4 years now and have been competing for tens of thousands of dollars. And I've seen it. I've seen qualified players enter the space and either lose, have close games with, or have close games with the top guys in that do the YouTube 1v1 basketball. You know what I mean? So I don't think that someone being one level higher than those guys who sometimes even get destroyed, I don't think that they'll just automatically dog walk the top 1v1 guys. Mind you, the top 1v1 guys are also qualified fives players as well. Are they as good as NBA players? No, but to act like they're like Instagram or YouTube or TikTok hoopers, like Zay is a G League player. He made the G League. Lamar Peters was an NBA draft pick. Like, come on now. Like, let's use our brains. Nas, big three, like the NBA players like to talk about big three. Nas was the big three rookie of the year one year and got to the finals the next year. Like, I mean, come on now. If Michael Beasley and Kyrie Irving can show respect to the 1v1 scene by being a part of it in some way, shape, or form, then I think that gives a little bit of credence to what the ones players are doing. I mean, it sounds funny because you're using the word YouTube hoopers, but they're really pros in the 1v1 scene. You know what I mean? They're pros in their own respect. So I think that we should, one, be a little bit more realistic, and two, just put a little bit more respect on it. I think that if you look at Austin Rivers' Instagram stories and his comments, and then you watch Nasir's video on the Blueprint League, that's really the only thing that needs to be said, honestly. Everybody else keeps making videos and whatnot. And saying ridiculous stuff. We're not really adding to the conversation. Again, the conversation is simply, would Austin automatically dominate as he is right now? Would he destroy Nas simply because he's in the NBA? The answer is no. All right, hopefully you enjoyed the video. That was a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but, you know, I get to yapping sometimes. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.